In this tutorial, we'll have a look at the free software OBS. It's great for live streaming, so let's take a look at how to use it. So the layout is quite simple. You have a viewer here so you can see what's going on. You've got different scenes and different sources that go into each scene, which I'll explain in a minute. You've got audio settings here, and you've got some other settings here. The first thing I want to check before I get too far into my project is my resolution. So there's a settings button down here. If I click on this and I go to video, here is my canvas resolution, which is this window in OBS. And this is the resolution that I'll be streaming out to. So I just want to make sure that they're both in 1080 HD, so that seems fine. And now I'm going to hit OK. So to start with, let's go down to your scenes tab down here. You have a plus icon and a minus icon. A plus icon is to create a scene and a minus one is to delete one. So let's create a new scene. So let's click on the plus icon and let's call it camera. If I hit OK, it should appear down here in my scenes tab, and now my sources are what's in each scene. If you want to connect a webcam to that scene, or a camera that is connected to your computer, make sure we've got the right scene selected. If you go to sources and you hit the plus icon, it will ask you what sort of input it is. You can go to video capture device. Let's call it webcam because I'm connecting my webcam, and then we'll hit OK. Now I can choose what device it is, so I'm going to go to my FaceTime camera, which is me. And with my presets, I'm just going to choose the resolution that I want. This seems to be the biggest one, which isn't ideal, but that's fine for now. So here it is, it's appeared on my canvas, so I can move it around by clicking and dragging. And here, right in the corners, I can click and drag to extend it. So right now I'm just going to fill the screen up with the image. So to add a new image, we'll start by creating a new scene. So if we go to this plus icon down here, and we'll call it image. With that scene selected, we'll go to sources and hit the plus icon, and if you select image, let's just hit OK. It will give me this window here, and you can find your image in your browser. I want this one, and this image is far too big for my canvas, so I'm just going to resize it. For screen capture, let's create a new scene. I'm going to call this one display. And with the scene selected, I'm going to go to the sources tab and then hit the plus icon and go to display capture. Yes, I'm going to hit OK here. And it's going to give me this little window. So this is obviously my desktop. If I have multiple monitors, I can select which monitor I want in this display tab, but I don't. So what I'm going to do here with the crop options, manual allows you to just type in the amount and crop it manually. Oh, let's go back to 0. To window mode allows you just to select a window that you want to crop to, and window and manual is mixing the two together. But what I want is to just grab my desktop. So if I go to manual, I'm going to just put in the right amount just to crop off the toolbar at the top and at the bottom. There we go. So I get something like that. I hit OK. And once again, it's too big for my canvas. So I'm just going to resize it until it fits. So I'll get something like that. In your sources tab, you can make your source invisible by clicking on this eye icon here, like so. And I can also lock and unlock the layer just by clicking on this little padlock here, so I don't accidentally make any changes to it. If I want to delete a source, I can select which source that I want, and then I hit this minus button here. It's going to have a confirmation window. In this instance, I'm going to say no. And next to the minus button, there's a little cogwheel. If I click that, it will allow me to change the settings of that source that is selected. So if you want to combine sources, let's say you want a screen capture of the computer with a picture of me in the corner talking about what I'm doing for some bizarre reason, we can do that. We just need to add all of the right sources under the same scene. So currently I have one scene with my display capture. So if I add a video capture device again, I can select a pre-existing source if I wanted to, but for now I'm just going to create new. I select my source, which is my webcam of me, and then I hit OK. As you can see, it's kind of popped it on top of the previous source. So what I can do, I can use my resizing tool just to put me in the right part of the screen. And now you'll just see me talking on top of the screen. So you can just add multiples of these sources. Whatever source is on top gets seen. So if I select my display capture source and I hit this up arrow, it will place it above and below, etc. So you can add text like it's just another source. So here I have my image with my webcam above on the top layer. So if I hit the plus icon and then go to text, hit OK, it will give me this window here. So in this text box I can just type what I want, but because the font is quite small, as you can see here, the second I start stretching it, it's going to get pixelated. So if I click select font, I'm just going to choose a really large font size. Can you see how it's much cleaner than it is over here? I'll hit OK, and then I'll just hit OK again. And now I can move my text around and I can also resize it. So you can just create the type of image that you want using all these tools combined. In your audio mixing tab, you can see what sounds are being recorded in that scene. So here is my mic that's from my computer. And what I really don't want to do is for these sound levels to hit in this red zone here, because that's when your audio starts being distorted. And to change these settings, there's a little volume control bar down here, so you can just move this around to set the right audio level for you. So you just have a few options about controlling your audio, and here you've got a cogwheel to do more settings. If you go to advanced audio properties, you can make things mono, you can turn tracks off, etc. So you have a little bit to play around with. Something to bear in mind is in different scenes, different audio is being recorded. So if I click on a different scene, as you can see here, it's got a different media source. So if you're cutting in between scenes in your live stream, just make sure that the right audio track is selected for that scene. Okay, so now this scene is ready to be streamed. To do this, we go to the settings button down here, and then there is a stream tab. Let's click on that, and it will give us a few options of what service we want to stream to. So for now, let's say YouTube, and here you will input your stream key. You get your stream key through the services you're streaming to. For example, if I go to YouTube and create a stream, it will give me a stream key to copy and paste it here. And then if I have a stream key, I would hit OK, and then I would click this button here, start streaming, and it will just sync it up with YouTube, but it won't actually start streaming. I'll hit the go live button in YouTube to start this. And when it's started, it will stream the scene that it's currently seeing on your screen here. So here I have multiple scenes that I want to use in my stream. One here has an image, the other is just me talking to the camera, and another scene is the display with me in the bottom, and I want to use all three of these during my stream. So the first thing to do here is to use this studio mode button. So if we click that, on the right is my program feed, which is what the audience sees in the live stream, and on the left is a preview feed just for me. So what I'm going to do is line up my other scenes in my preview feed and then cut them into my live stream. So what I want to do is to start the stream with an image, and then I want to slowly fade me into the program feed. So if I click on a scene, it will line it in the preview feed. It's not actually cutting for the audience. So if I line up my next scene that I want to cut to, which is me talking, I have a few options where I can either cut in or I can fade me into the program feed. So now the audience will be able to see me and hear me. And let's say they've had enough of me just speaking to camera and I want to show what's happening on the screen. I'll line up the next scene and now I can cut to it. So this sort of thing is great if you're cutting in between multiple cameras, or you want to talk through a slideshow by creating a scene per slide, or just to create a nice looking stream where multiple things happen on the screen. Something to bear in mind though is that when I change the scene, I'm also changing the audio channel with the visuals, so just make sure that the right audio track is in each scene. So you can record whilst you're streaming, but I wouldn't really recommend it. There's a button down here to click start recording, and if you go into your settings and output, under the recording section you can see where you want to create this file to and what the quality will be. So the reason I really wouldn't recommend this is because the software is doing a lot of processing power, and this can actually make your stream quite laggy. In most places that you're streaming to, it will save the stream as about it will actually save the stream as a watchable video afterwards, so just check if you need to record your stream before you start. Now you should be ready to do it yourselves. If you feel like I've missed any of the basics or want me to go into any more detail, then just leave me a comment below.